All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Okay, guys, so we saw another rejection from our key anchored VWAP and value area high of the range. We did come up and take out yesterday's highs and rejected from the anchored VWAP again a second time, a third time, really. And now we are dumping back inside a range. You can see after coming out and taking out the highs of yesterday, we dumped back inside our volume profile with a big bearish engulfing candle, and we are wrestling with the POC of the range. But I am expecting a bit of a dump down here to potentially that 109.4K area of support where we talked about yesterday. We have that key liquidity resting down below and the value area low of our range and some liquidity at 109,300 that's right below us, 109,321. So, yeah, Bitcoin is losing after taking out yesterday's highs, another rejection. What I will say with this is if we zoom in onto the 1 hour chart, we did have confirmation for the short. You can see higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the momentum waves, both on NAMI and Market Cipher B. And now money flow is draining out of the asset, about to cross over into the red here. So I am expecting a bit of a move down after another failed rejection and to come down and finally grab that liquidity that is acting as a magnet below us. What we did see is we saw the push above to take out yesterday's highs. We rejected the anchored VWAP. We fell back inside the volume profile, got an immediate back test of that volume profile, and now we're dropping and losing the POC of the range, or wrestling around with losing the POC of this range, right, as we speak. So what I'm looking for now is something very, very similar at the bottom of our range, because remember, we're looking for, as I've been talking about for the past few days, a bigger range to form at this macro bottom here, at this macro support level that we bounce from, and looking for a bit of a bigger range to form. So far, this push up has looked more like a corrective move rather than an impulsive move to the upside. And maybe that means we're going to test at least the lows of our volume profile, or maybe even the lows of the range coming down to 105 even. But what I want to look for locally here, I am going to be looking for a long position around this 109K area. If we do continue to push down here in like a three-wave corrective move coming down to these lows, we have the value area low at 109.6 pretty much. Just below that, we have our liquidity. And if we come down, we pierce that level of liquidity, get a rise back, ultimately bouncing from the golden pocket, just seeing a bit of wickage, and then come back above 109.6. I would be looking for a reclaim in a long of, now I will look for a long. If we do a confirmed swing failure pattern, I'll look for a long straight from there. Area low of the range and actually bounce from the golden pocket, setting your stop below those lows, and then we would be targeting the highs of the range that are still above us that we still do need to take out here. So I would be looking for something actually very similar to what we saw right up here this morning. Let's go ahead and delete this real quick. And you can see here how we broke above the volume profile. We spent just a little bit of time, a few hours above that volume profile, fell back within it, but back tested it and then confirmed the rejection. So we would be looking for the same thing down here. A pierce of that low, taking the liquidity, a break back in, maybe a few hours down here, just like the few hours up here, come back inside that volume profile, and upon the back test, look for the long position, stop below the low, and then look for that continuation in this 8-day range, really rejecting value area high, rotating down to value area low. And what do we say on the channel? Trade the range until it breaks. So just looking for this range to continue and a potential scalp long position from that golden pocket value area low. But Bitcoin is dumping, and after taking out the highs from yesterday, if we zoom out onto the 4-hour chart, you can see after taking out the highs from yesterday, we had a pretty big bearish engulfing. Actually, on the 8-hour chart is where you can really see that big bearish engulfing candle here after taking out those highs. And we are seeing a bit of some impulsive price action, some very local impulsive price action to the downside. With the liquidity that's just below us, I do think there's a potential we could come down to 109K. Now, if we go on to our order flow charts here, I do want to highlight this on the order flow charts. We are still building the bullish CVD divergence, not absorption, but the divergence from the lows bouncing from that 107K support, 107,200. It's not bullish CVD absorption. Now, if we look from last Thursday's lows here, September 4th, we are seeing bullish CVD divergence. So the CVD is getting lower and lower and lower. Price action is making higher lows here. But if we look at our open interest, this is where it really starts to get interesting. So from the lows of September 4th here, you can see that overall our open interest is increasing here. And increasing, I wouldn't say it's the steadiest increase in open interest because we do have these big jagged moves down in the middle. And I often talk about how this can invalidate the bullish CVD absorption. But we are seeing absorption from those lows. With us losing this POC and with the jaggedness within this aggregated open interest here, I am not so sure this bullish CVD absorption is going to play out. But it is textbook bullish CVD absorption right now on the charts, and we still do have to keep that in mind because it is valid for now. Now, if we come down to 109.4, it's going to invalidate this bullish CVD absorption from last Thursday because obviously 109.8 is taking out those lows, or 109.4 is taking out those lows. It's not quite. Those lows are at 109.321, at least on Coinbase. So there is a potential that we could even come down here, bounce from the value area low in the 618, and still see technically those bullish CVD absorptions valid and intact. Now, if you come just a little bit lower and take out that liquidity, then that's a new lower low on the charts and will invalidate the bullish CVD absorption. I am looking for a move down to that 109.4, or really 109.6 to 109.300. And if we are seeing bull divs, local bull divs, now you'd have to look very locally on the chart because we're only going to have enough time to form bull divs on like the 15-minute and under. But if we're forming lower lows here and we're continuing to form higher lows here on the charts, then that would give me enough of a signal to long that 109.4K area of support, 109.6K area of support. Other than that, not too much else is going on with Bitcoin. Guys, today's going to be a shorter video because we do not have any real new developments. We're just trading within the range, the 8-day range that we've been in for 8 days, this range, this bottoming range here. And very boring for Bitcoin and the crypto markets today. You guys know what I'm looking for. Really, on Bitcoin, I'm looking for two areas to short. I'm looking for the SFP of our semi-equal highs into the golden pocket. If we do get that confirmed SFP, I will look for the short from this 113.5 to 113.8. And I will be looking for a long from like 109.6 to 109.3. Other than that, I'm not interested in anything else on Bitcoin, just continuing to range. Let's go on to Ethereum. But before we go on to Ethereum, I want to talk about real quick the partner KYC and VPN free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. They are offering 20% discounts on trading fees, up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses. And actually, depending on how much you deposit, you can get higher discounts on your trading fees, up to 40% discounts. And they are matching the best discounts and fees on the market with the other exchanges available. If you're interested in joining with BYDFI, if you deposit just $100, I have partnered with BYDFI to create a Telegram community where if you want to get access to some of my trade setups and some of my analysis, which we did have a couple trade setups we talked about yesterday in the video that got triggered today. If you're interested in these trade setups, you can deposit $100 into BYDFI using my affiliate link. First off, you'll get a 50% deposit bonus on that $100 deposit. It's still your money to trade. And then once you do that, you can click on the Telegram link in the description of this video. Once you are in that Telegram, type in /verify and then your user ID, which is this number here, and it will automatically put you into that Telegram group, and you'll be in that Telegram group. If you're interested, links are in the description. Second partner of the channel is NAMI. NAMI is a momentum and money flow indicator that I use for confirmations. Like today, if we zoom in onto the 1 hour chart, coming up to these highs, taking out yesterday's highs. Bear divs on the chart, money flow bear divs on the chart here. Give us confirmation to look for a short there. Now, I did not personally take that short, but I was looking to come up a little bit higher. But NAMI is a great tool to use for entry and exit confirmations. If you're interested in purchasing NAMI, the link is in the description. If you use my affiliate link in the description, there's also a discount code running for a limited time, 50% off. Divine 50's the discount code. The link and the discount code are in the description. Third partner of the channel is MEXC. MEXC right now is doing a new user event for another day or so, another day and a half, where you can get up to $30 pretty much for doing almost nothing. So if you register in KYC, you'll get $10 free. If you deposit just $100, they'll give you $10. And then if you trade one futures trade of $1,000, you'll get another $10. And that futures trade could just be your $100 deposit on 10x leverage. Now, use proper risk management if you do that. If you're doing 10x leverage, you need to have your stop loss appropriate, where if you get stopped out, you're still only going to lose 1%. But with just one trade, you can get that $10 and you can get $30 pretty quickly here. So if you're interested in MEXC, links in the description. They're also offering discounts on trading fees and more bonuses depending on how much volume you trade in the futures markets. And then lastly, we do have Bybit. Bybit is offering up to $30,000 in futures trading bonuses depending on how much you deposit and how much you trade with the futures markets. Okay, let's go on to Ethereum here. Ethereum, guys, we did see a nice little push up on Ethereum today. But let me talk about this little range. This range is the same 8-day range that Bitcoin's been in. It's our little bottoming range. And you can see that we've been front running the last couple of days the value area low of this range. And earlier today in the Telegram, I posted about coming down to this box of support between our two value area lows. So we have the value area low of our 8-day range, and we have the value area low of our bigger range that's going on about a month. If we zoom out here the 4-hour chart, you can see it goes back to about August 9th. So yeah, about exactly a month now. And this is the topping range that I talked about yesterday at the top of the pitchfork, where we do expect to see a bit of a, maybe even a distribution pattern where you see your left shoulder, head, and then if we come up to that golden pocket, a right shoulder where you can see a bigger distribution down to actually come down to our bigger boxes of support, and specifically 3,500, which would be really great. But for Ethereum locally, because nothing is happening, we're just playing local scalp trades in this bottoming 8-day range here. I was looking for that move up to 4,400, which I am long on Ethereum, and I did take a profit earlier today. Took some profit out just to secure the trade, secure a win. Stop losses at break even. I am long from the lows here, the local lows, and we did not come up to 4,400. You can see now. And let's pull this volume profile back just a day or so. If we pull this volume profile back, you can see that our value area high was a bit higher. It is in confluence with that golden pocket at the 30 or 4,400 area. Now that we have kind of made another double top from yesterday's highs, it's really a little bit lower, but I'm calling this a double top here. And we are starting to flirt around with losing this POC of the range. I am now looking for Ethereum to come down and bounce from this local support box between the value area lows and our 786 retrace around 4268 to continue pushing up to this 4,400 level. But because we did not pierce that level, I did not take a short, pierce that level into the value area low. I did not take a short on Ethereum, and I'm probably going to get stopped out on Ethereum here from this general area. My stop is below this local low here. If I get stopped out, I just will look to re-enter down in this box if we have confirmation. But we did just print a hidden bear div just about a couple hours ago on the rejection from the VWAP. We rejected the VWAP after losing it. And so now on Ethereum, I'm actually looking to get stopped out on that trade and come down to our box of support, or even like we talked about yesterday, even better would be to come down to that 4,200 area and grab the internal semi-equal lows resting down here. So for Ethereum, I'm interested in the box between like around 4268. Interested in longing only a confirmed swing failure pattern of 4200. Looking for the short around 4400. And then if we break above 4400, I'm looking for the short around 4,500 if and only if we get the confirmed swing failure pattern up here. But really, if we break above 4,500, we're probably going to come up to the value area high of our month-long range, which is in confluence with the pitchfork, and then our golden, this general area. And I know this is a big box here, but this general area up here where we have the value area high, the pitchfork, the liquidity, and the golden pocket. And that could actually be a really good swing short opportunity if we are going to form this bigger Model 2 distribution pattern with tap 1 here, a tap 2 up here, and then another push up for a tap 3, and then that breakdown to 3,500. So that is what I'm looking at for Ethereum. Not too much else to discuss. Just going to go quickly over some things. Now with Solana, we finally, guys, came up and hit that golden pocket that I was talking about in yesterday's video. I said I am not looking to short until we actually hit the golden pocket of this this kind of rising wedge that we're seeing here. And we finally came up and we've hit this golden pocket. We hit the 618 with continued local bearish divergences and regional bearish divergences. So you can see on the 1 hour chart, we had the same type of bearish divergences, higher highs here, lower highs in both NAMI and market cipher B. NAMI money flow is draining out, creating even that local bearish money flow, bearish divergence in money flow. But we are still above to the pitchfork and band, and we're forming a range in the pitchfork band. So what I'm looking for, I actually have not shorted Solana yet. I have taken profit on the long position, 90% out of the long position from the lows of the range here, that 200 area. But I have not shorted yet. And what I will be looking for to confirm a short position, if we lose this 214.75 or 214.8, this area, I will put my stop above the local highs from today, and I will be looking to at least target the 786 down here. But that would only be a TP1. Really what I'd be targeting is the pitchfork midline around 194, where you can see our internal liquidity. So a drop to grab that liquidity. Maybe seeing something like this. Over the next few days here. So Solana finally did get that golden pocket hit. Now that we've hit that bigger golden pocket, this whole rising wedge structure that we've been forming over the past few weeks here could start to break down. This rising wedge structure that we have been seeing in here could break down, and we could break down to the midline or even break down to take out the lows of the wedge into your lower band at like 175 area. So not too much to discuss on Solana. Solana is forming this upper range instead of a bottoming range like Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's forming a topping range. Have not shorted yet, but I'm looking to short this. Once again, if we lose that 214.7-ish area, I will look to short, putting my stop above the local highs. Targeting the first take profit would probably only be 20% at that 203.73. It's the 786 of our local move up in confluence with the POC. But really, you could take this same fib and we could pull it down to the lows here. We'll turn on our golden pocket. Golden pocket also around 198 could be another option. I do not like that as much as the 203, because I think if we're going to maintain this upper range, this 8-day range, then we need to bounce from the POC and then continue up to that 232. That's it for Solana. Going on to Sui. Sui, finally, guys, we were looking yesterday at coming up to finally take out those 353 highs. We did come up, break above those highs. We saw not an SFP, but we saw a bit of a failed auction above there. Like if you go on to, what am I doing? 15-minute chart, you can see we broke above those highs, but couldn't really break out truly above them. We broke above them, formed that failed auction, and then dropped right back underneath, confirming a failed auction short trade. Now, I did not take this trade, but if we look at Sui, now that it has finally come out and taken out these highs, we have broken local market structure bullishly. I will say that this push up that we've seen so far in this entire kind of ascending channel looks more corrective to me. Now, because it looks more corrective, there is a potential that we can continue rolling over down to that 295 golden pocket and naked daily point of control. which I would definitely be looking for long down there. But because we have broken market structure bullishly, we can now look at our golden pocket retrace from the lows of this channel to the highs of this channel. This golden pocket down here at 330 to 328, you can see it is in confluence with our key anchored VWAP that we bounce from. We form that bottoming rounded formation right around that key anchored VWAP, and it is the channel midline. And now that we've broken above the channel midline, if we come down there again, that channel midline might act as support, continuing this overall bullish market structure of higher highs, higher lows, and then higher highs coming up to the top of the channel where our 380 golden pocket is. So for SUI, I'm interested in to about 377, or if we continue pushing up now locally, if we bounce from this POC and bounce from this value area low of our small range, now that we're trying to break back inside this small upper range, then I will look for no short positions, but I will look to continue up to 377, 380 and look for a potential short opportunity from there to bring down and continue trading within this descending channel formation. And then, of course, if we do come down to 295 and see continued bull divs forming on the chart, I will look for a long position from that area. But that's it for SUI. Let's now go on to Say I did take a short on Say. I talked about this in yesterday's video, but I did say if we come up to this pitchfork midline, pitchfork band, and reject from this pitchfork band, again, like we have the last couple of times, then I will look for the short position. So I am short from the rejection of this pitchfork band. We did have the local bear divs on the chart, higher highs on the price action, lower highs on the momentum waves here. And why I was looking for that short is if we zoom out here onto the 4-hour chart, this is the range that has been forming, a big sideways range between the midline of the pitchfork and the upper band of the pitchfork. Well, you can see in here what happened earlier when we were wrestling with the top of the upper band. We had our initial rejection and lower high there. Then we saw the big drop, and then we saw a lower high retrace to backtest that pitchfork band again. Once we confirmed the rejection on a lower high, we came down and we saw another big drop. So now I'm looking for this same sort of fractal in this area. We saw our kind of double highs here, our high with a lower high, high with a lower high, rejecting from the bottom of the band. We saw our big drop. Now I'm looking to come up for a lower high, just like we did here, hitting the bottom of the pitchfork band, rejecting on a lower high, and then seeing that drop continue, just like we're seeing here. So TP1 will definitely be this area at 2881 to 2865. And actually, I already did take a TP on this. Let me say this. I took a TP at 30.3, and the reason why is in a bullish scenario. Let's just say that this bottom here was the bottom. It is the value area low of our local range that goes back about a month, 3 months, excuse me. 3-month range. It is the value area low. We did bounce from the value area low, and we've reclaimed the POC. So there is a potential that we could move up to value area high and top of the pitchfork band again. Because there is that potential, and also looking at this push up that we've seen so far, it looks a bit better than some of the other coins. We could be looking at a 1, 2 as your primary start of the impulse, another 1, another 2, and both of these coming down to your local golden pockets. This alt push up could be our third wave. If the third wave ended rejecting from that pitchfork band, you want to see a 4, 5, 4, 5 pushing up to complete this double 1, 2 impulse. Now, because that is a potential here on the charts, we can zoom in and just look at this wave 3. So you're going to be going from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3, and you're going to be looking between the 0.382 and the 0.5 for a bounce. And if we do bounce from this area and start to reclaim your local golden pocket, which you would pull it from the today's highs to the lows that we just made, this local golden pocket, then we might be seeing this double 1, 2 impulse play out. So I am short, but I did take some profit around this 0.5, right around 30.3, because we could have the potential of a 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5 continuing higher here. It was only 20%, and I am still looking primarily for this to reject from here and come at least down to the golden pocket. So I'm going to be holding that short position at least down to this golden pocket area at around 28.65. But stop is already at break even, and I've taken 20% out of the position. Okay, that is it for say. Going on to XRP. Guys, this is a perfect example of being patient and waiting. So for XRP, yesterday we had front run our naked daily point of control, our naked weekly point of control, which I did delete, but it was at 301, and our monthly level at 302. So we were looking to come up to this area and finally hit into our resistance and reject. Yesterday we had front run it just barely. We were looking to actually come up and hit it. Now, I did say in yesterday's video, if we can see continued bear divs on the chart as we're coming up into that area, that is a short position for me. I personally did not take the short on this trade because I was focused on other assets. But we did talk about this as a confirmed short yesterday, and we did reject from that monthly level, the naked daily, the naked weekly POC, the range POC, and we are starting to see a bit of a drop here on XRP. Now, what we could look for very locally here is a little head and shoulders pattern or a model 2 distribution, a very local model 2 distribution. So if we come up, if you miss the short position, if you come up to our golden pocket retrace, which I already have pulled out on the chart, from the highs of today to the lows that we just made, you can see that golden pocket is coming in right where that naked daily point of control was. And this golden pocket here could be a potential short opportunity where you look to short this golden pocket 786 area. Stop would go above the highs, and we would be targeting down near the value area low of our range. Nice little scalp short position there. This does look like it could be a three-wave move up where you're going to reject after the three-wave move from that resistance that we were finally waiting to hit, and then you could start to impulse back down, even coming out to take out your lows. So TP1 would be around the value area low, around 279 or really 280, around 280. But I would hold some of that short open until we come down and SFP the lows into your channel midline. But we did talk about this trade yesterday on the video yesterday, and it did trigger here for XRP. And so if you're in it, you can hold it from the highs. If you're not in it, look for a local golden pocket retrace to reject from that golden pocket at $3. I will say this. It is not a guarantee that we reject here. We could continue breaking up and break out of this descending channel. So as we're coming up to that golden pocket, you want to see very local bearish divs on the chart. So you're going to be looking on like the 5-minute and under. As we're making this push up there, you're going to be looking for 5-minute bear divs on the chart. Not that. Yeah, you're going to be looking for 5-minute bear divs on the chart as we're pushing up, and you're going to want to see money flow kind of leaving out of the asset again as well. So $3 area of resistance for a local short. That is it for XRP. Let's go on lastly to Chainlink. Chainlink, guys, I talked about this in yesterday's video as well. I did talk about if we come up to our pitchfork midline and we see a rejection from the pitchfork midline, I will be looking for a short position. Now, let's pull this volume profile back a little bit here, because if we pull it back just a couple days, let's pull it back to yesterday. You can see that in yesterday's video, we were right in this area. We were reclaiming the value area low, and we were forming a choppy, little mini choppy range between the POC and the value area low. But because we'd reclaimed inside the value area low, there was a potential that we could move up to this value area high. I did say if we come up and we see a fake out of the POC and reject from that pitchfork midline and then lose the POC, that would be really a sign of more downside for me. And that so far is kind of what we're trying to do. Now, if we pull this volume profile just to win it, hit into the highs here, you can see that our POC had shifted up a little bit. And it was in perfect confluence with that pitchfork midline. So we rejected from the POC of the range in confluence with your pitchfork midline. And we're wrestling right now with the value area low, which you can see the value area low is actually shifted down a little bit as well. So good short opportunity, scalp opportunity there. And I do think that if we lose this value area low at 22.75, then we're going to see a drop at least to the 886 at 21.65. And oftentimes in ranges, you will see a small bounce from the 886. So there's a potential we could see a drop, a bounce from the 886. But remember, if you hit the 886 in a larger downtrend, then oftentimes you will come take out the lows of from where that Fibonacci was pulled from. And that in this case, it's your 20.85 lows. So I would be looking for a bounce from the 886 to come up to back test that value area low. If you reject, then you're looking for that move down to that 20.85 to about 20.6, where potential swing long opportunities could be involved here. But we are getting that confirmed rejection from the POC from our pitchfork midline. And now I'm honestly looking on Chainlink to continue down. And I really hope we get, now I understand the market doesn't care what you hope, but I hope we do get a move down to that 20.85 liquidity grab into your macro value area high, because that would be a great swing trade setup if we're continuing to develop higher time frame bull divs on the chart as we're coming down to that area. That is kind of my plan for Chainlink. If you did not catch the short that we talked about in yesterday's video, I did not post about this one in Telegram because I was focused on other coins. But we did talk about it in yesterday's video. So if you caught that, good on you. I will keep you guys updated on this one for sure, because we are absolutely looking to, let's just make sure there's a bunch of alerts set here. Swing long this area if we come down here with bull divs. So range is continuing. We still technically are inside the volume profile, rejected POC, but we have not lost value area low yet. If we do lose this value area low, I expect that move ultimately to come down to 20.85 with a bounce probably at the 886. That's it for today, guys. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. I will be streaming tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Thursday and Friday at the same times. I will see you then.